Well, our theme this morning is noticing people of peace and beginning to work together in different configurations than we've even thought about doing before. And I wonder if that's, uh, uh, if it feels odd or unusual for a congregation. Now they've noticed some people in their neighborhood, their environment, that they feel like they should be doing something with, but this is a different group, this is weird feeling. How does a congregation get past that sense of, ooh, this is strange?
There was a congregation, was a first-ring suburb, as I recall, of Philadelphia. It had been around a long time. This congregation went back, very long time. And it had once been out in the country, that sort of thing.
Oh, the city grew up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And beautiful, old stone church, very well built,
Huh.
beautiful churchyard. But they had about 20 people on a good Easter Sunday morning. And the minister there was also working as a chaplain so that they could continue that ministry.
Yeah.
But through a series of accidents, really, from their perspective, they began noticing people of peace. They ended up taking the overflow crowd from a tragic event of the funeral for a young man who had committed suicide in the high school. It was across the street. And through that, they began to have conversations just because they were caring for these people at this event. That this was related to his parent being severely wounded in Afghanistan. And they realized that the room was filled with people within 10 minutes walking distance
Yeah.
of the congregation who had people who were in the military.
Wow.
And there was this incredible presence of people who really were looking for people who would notice them, care about them, while their loved ones were in service. And that kind of frightened them, frankly.
Well, it would be a great need, huh?
Yeah, they were overwhelmed with this.
And they didn't know these people?
They had no idea who these people were other than this event.
Yeah.
And there were 20 of them total,
Yeah.
right? And so the initial experience of noticing the people of peace
Yeah.
was being overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And this sense that there's way too much need and we're
Yeah.
really not capable of making
Right.
that big a difference.
Right, right.
So, but they were working with other congregations in our Partnership for Missional Church, and so we did some brainstorming exercises, and they began to say, well, maybe some of these people of peace will become the workers.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they are the partners that God is sending us, and not just people who need, but people who we need.
Yeah.
And that if we allow them to host us, then maybe there's something that can come out of that. So I remember in particular, they decided they were going to have a meeting on this and gather people within the community who might want to attend and do some shared exploration of what might we as a community do.
Yeah.
And so they wanted to get some nice brochures printed up. So they went to a local printer who, when he found out what the content was, he says, I refuse to take money for this.
Oh.
And let me help you design this because really, you need some help on quality of design. But we'll give you 4-color offset printing,
Wow.
the whole bit,
Yeah.
because he himself was a veteran.
Uh-huh.
And he saw this need, and he had been looking
Uh-huh.
for some way to do something.
Uh-huh.
And he said, this is nothing. He says, it doesn't cost me really anything in comparison to what it would cost you. But I need to be a part of this
Yeah.
event.
Yeah, yeah.
So you need to schedule it so I can be a part of it. So what begins to happen
Yeah.
is a network starts to develop.
Yeah.
And they started creating and nurturing this network. They weren't the center of the network.
Yeah.
Well, there are no centers of networks,
No,
right?
no, but they were kind of an enabler of the network to be born and
And,
thrive on.
and a ministry has grown out of that,
Amazing.
because there are things which that Christian community bring to the very basic issues of what is it to have a mother or a father or a son or a daughter who is in harm's way.
Yeah.
And all the, there's just 1,000 complications that
Yeah.
come with that get way easier if there's a community of people who care for them
Yeah.
and who also connect them with God's care for them. And that's something the Christian community brought.
That's right.
And it made a very big difference, not just for that congregation, but for this network, which they began to nurture.
Great story.
Mm.